have to only access that application only to test it. So in that way, we can limit the access to that compared to developer, QA, and production. We are production engineers, production support people need more access privileges in order to maintain that application. So they do have all the access. So that is where the groups play a part. It's easy to govern. Instead of single user to govern, right, each and every user to assign the privilege, roles, and services, policies, rather than you put that particular user to the group and assign the policy and role to that particular group, right? So policy is nothing but it's a document with a JSON document that actually instruct that, what are the permissions, right? For example, that permission, it's written, say, S3 bucket, allow S3 bucket, read, write S3 bucket, maybe allow to use the EC2 instances, maybe a Lambda function. So these are the services. But when it comes to, you can say, maybe it's denied to use VPC modification. Okay, so these are the things you can place it in the policy document. Role is something similar to what do you call a user, but again, it's not a user. It's a thing where it gives you role. For example, maybe S3 access role, right? So you can put all the users into that role, attach that role to the users, and they are able to access that S3 bucket, right? If you don't assign the role, you will not able to access the S3, right? Where the policy will define. So the policy need to be attached to the role all the time. If you don't attach the policy into the role is nothing, right? So this is how it works. Just wanted to ask you, do you have any questions here? Like, this is very important. This is the very basic. So I prefer you to ask questions so I can understand whether you guys, understood properly. Anyone? Anyone? Just to say yes or no, something I need a feedback. It's better. Okay. Hope I'm audible to you, right? Okay. Right. Everybody can, like, hope all you can see here. There are entities, right? As I mentioned to you, a component, right? A users, groups, and roles. For example, just to get some kind of view here, users are Alice, Bob, Avi, and here also you can see these are the groups available. For example, admin, developers, QA. So you can assign some of the user to the admins, also the developers, QA, in a respective manner. Also, there is a role called S3 access role. So whoever, say for example, if I attach this role to this group, this S3 bucket, right? So that is access to the S3 bucket. So this is how we assign roles and policy to groups and individual users. Okay, you can go through it here. The users, as I mentioned to you, users who have credentials like password, username, and password. Also, there are token, MFA tokens, and special, access privileges. Also, the groups here, group of collection, again, same type of user. You can have it as a groups. Just summarizing it. Role is a set of permission to access the particular services. You can go through quickly. I'll just allow you to read it. So in the policy document, you can write, say, if a user, one user, the same user can have that role. In the role, you can have multiple access and denied. Say, for example, you can allow S3 bucket, and at the same time, you can deny the DC2 access, and you can enable a Lambda function access. So, it's kind of restrictions and, permission you are granting it. Okay. So now when it comes to policy type, question is, what are the policy types are available in AWS? There are many of them, but I have summarized which are very important, not all of them, but these are the main, policies which work, which we use day-to-day life. For example, one of the things is called manage policy. It can be divided into two sections where AWS manage policy, um, already AWS has these policies, right? S3 full access, EC2 full access. I will show you later on. Everything is written and you cannot modify accordingly. You have to use it. So you can use it multiple times, any resources or anything, you can use it for it. Customer managed policy, based on your requirement, you can modify that policy, right? Say there is a call S3 policy, S3 full access, where you don't want that full access. Maybe you can limit it. So you copy that entire JSON document and you say modify just to particular region people only, right? I can explain to you if you want. Region is in the AWS console, they have divided into several regions where, say, North America, Asia Pacific, Europe. So in a similar way. So you can say, only I wanted to allow Asia Pacific, not other regions. So something like that, you can do that. Inline policy is, again, it's very important thing. It's embedded directly into the single user. I would say single entity. It could be a service also, right? Say, for example, particular Lambda function. You can write a inline policy to restrict only to that Lambda function whenever people using it. So that is how it works, right? And again, come to resource-based policy. These policies are attached to each and every resources. Most of the common resources I have mentioned here: S3, SQS, SNS, Lambda function, maybe EC2 instances, IoT devices, something like that, right? So this is a sample policy which is written in JSON format. As you can see, there is a version here, and the statement, it says allow. That means you can do a certain task and activities of this. It's allowing it to S3 list bucket. So basically, if you have this, you can list S3 buckets. How many types of buckets you have, how many buckets you have, right? Something like that. So it's just a simple picture, explain, each role you have, right? There are so many roles you can create. Based on your role, is similar to just you are wearing a hat, right? So this first one, it says you have the permission to read S3 and write to CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring tool, health monitoring, and is a huge service that provided by AWS. And read from DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a database, right? It's a something server, database server. Read from S3, again, it just this. If you're wearing this hat, or if you attached this role, you only can use the S3 bucket, right, to read the S3 and write to CloudWatch the same manner here also. I'm just quickly go through because there are a couple of things I need to cover. So here, features, I'm user, I'm role. So permanent access, I'm user, have yes, and the role is not a permanent, it's temporary one. Again, here temporary access, no, yes, used by humans because you are a user, and here the role is more into application. Say if I attach a role, you can use it for users as well as application. Example use admin login lambda function. Okay, here this is a simple explanation here. This user have an authentication to use this with the policy document, able to access this EC2 instance. But at the same time, this user doesn't, I mean, he has an authentication policy where the policy is denied or not allowed to use this S3 bucket. See the difference? Hope you understand. Okay, effective. So here also something here, the login, a user group, and assume role. This is kind of, say for example, when account A users can able to access the account B, right? Some of the resources in the account B, they are accessing it by using assume role, right? So just additional details, say centralized control, you can have it under one centralized place where you can control everything, users, security credential, adding users, removing it, modifying it, and granting access to them. Also group, adding groups, deleting, adding a user to the groups, everything in under one roof, right? So that's what's the centralized control. Shared access, you can share a lot of things among other users and group. At the same time, giving limited privilege to use those resources and everything. And also granular level control where, say, for example, you have a auditor comes in, so you give a certain privilege only, not all the privilege. So in that way, he can only check and, do some audition, right? So it helps you to, control these visitors, right? Rather than giving full access to the outsiders. These are the, points like I just put it. For example, you can go through it if you want. Just give it a couple of minutes. Any questions so far? Anyone? So there is a important point limited to 500 IAM roles under AWS account. Even if say, in huge, large organization, you can request more roles if you want it. So by default, they're limited, but you can, request anything you want. It's not a problem at all. These are the benefits that, uh, okay, best practice, you don't share your password, you don't share your authentication, tokens and everything. Um, there are a lot of things, it's similar manner, like, in places where you, or maybe you are using your email, like you don't share your password so that others cannot, see the thing is. So it's just a common best practice I have mentioned. If you want, you can go through it. And also the password should be not like include with a date of birth or some familiar name. It should be a very complicated password, and the password should be changed every 3 months time, 90 days, right? Roughly. You don't write it down, simply you memorize it, or maybe if you write it down in a very secure place, no one can access, those type of things. Okay, networking, I will come to the next point. So let's have a demo quickly, and then let me show you something here. Um, First, before we jump into demo, like I wanted to know, like any questions so far. Like I don't see anyone asking any questions. Feel free to ask questions so that I will be more happy to help you out rather than speaking myself. Anyone? Team? Okay. Uh, let's do one small demo just to get into the practice. Okay. Okay. For example, here I actually created a user, right? As I explained to you earlier, I created a user called Regan, right? And this Regan, right, username called Regan doesn't have any policy attached, right? No resources. See, this is how you attach the policy, but there's no policy. So he doesn't have access to anything at all, only just to log into the console. So I just wanted to show you here. I have logged in, right? You can see the name called Regan. And this user doesn't have any access. For example, S3, it says access denied. Let me go to the EC2. Let's see. Okay, you can see here, even EC2 don't have an access, right? It doesn't have an access for the EC2 as well as. So let's say Lambda function. I'm checking each and every Lambda function, each and every resources, whether this person has an access or not, right? Right, access denied. So it's straight away, it says the user called Regan doesn't have access to Lambda function. Okay, say SNS, simple notification service. This is a kind of an alert system. You can send a message alert. Right, could not retrieve any platform. Okay, so that shows this person, right, doesn't have any access at all. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grant an access to this person, right? See whether he is able to access it. So I'm going to give a EC2 full access. Just click on that. Next, add a permission. Okay, sometime I may have to sign out and sign in. Let's see. Just refresh it. Let me go to EC2 instance to see whether I have then access for that. Oh, cool. See, now since I have given an access, what access I have given? EC2 full access. That means I can do anything I want with the EC2 instance, right? Now, as you can see, when I log into this, the AWS console, earlier I was not able to access anything regarding on any services, but now I am able to create, I'm able to do anything I want with the EC2 instance, hence because I have the EC2 full access, right? So when I click on the EC2, okay, one second, I'll do this here because I have logged in. This one, it's an admin console, right? Don't confuse with this. So this one is an admin console. This is user logged in. This is a particular user logged in right now. I see.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. So we cannot see the process.
Yes.
We can only see the networking slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. Good. Actually, okay. Let me. How do I do? Stop share. Share. Okay. So basically, application windows. Uh, because how do I use the screens, documents? So basically, screen. I wanted to use the screen. Okay, let me use the screen then. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, sir. No, it's fine. It's fine.
What- Can you see my AWS console, right?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. So what if I swap other one? Can you see this one? Can you see Regan, right? Hello. Can can somebody confirm, please? Because I wanted to know that whether I'm sharing the the desktop screen rather than the particular application only. So I hope you understand. So this one is my admin console, right? And this one, okay, 1 second. I wanted to move a little bit. This one, it's a particular user has logged in, right? So two AWS console, I'm using it. So earlier, um, okay, are you guys able to see when I give that access to the particular user? No. Can someone say confirm, please? Earlier, okay. Uh, so here we go. Right now, I have only given EC2 access to Regan, right? So as a result, Regan can access only EC2 instances. Is that clear to you all? Now, if I go to Lambda function, I don't have an access to the Lambda function, right? And if I go to S3 bucket, can you all see this one? Please tell me. I need a confirmation from you. Yeah, access denied. Um, anyone, can you confirm whether you can see this?
Yes, sir. You can see.
Okay, thank you. So just wanted to understand. I wanted to make sure you guys see the screen. So here in the admin console, I grant an access to EC2, but not for S3 bucket and Lambda function. As a result, Regan cannot see any S3 bucket. Now I am going to give a access to a Lambda function. Think let me see Lambda function full access. Lambda function full access. I'm granting access to Lambda function full access. Next. Now, this person, Regan, doesn't have the Lambda function earlier. Let's see now I am able to access it, right? Lambda, correct. So I can see the Lambda functions, right? I mean, there's no Lambda function here, but I can see that Lambda. If I say, oops, access denied, cloud formation, create an application. Create a function. Yes, I'm able to create a function. See, otherwise it will throw error message, access denied, right? Is that understood? Any questions so far? Anyone? Hello? Because since you have a AWS account, I will give you like 5-10 minutes time to try it out from your end. Is that possible for you? Uh, is everyone has that access to? Uh, Hello? Can someone please answer? Hello? It's anyone? Any questions? Yes. Yeah. Uh, okay, Lakshani, how many uh, how many of you have that access to AWS? Please raise your arm or something. All of you? Okay. Uh, can you please try it out from your end? Uh, yeah, yeah, Vidusha. Hello.
Yes, I have the access.
Okay. Can you all try, say, create a user? You know how to create a user? Can I show you, or you know how to create a user? Just to get into the practice. Say this is how to create a user. So you create a user, right? Let me explain how to create a user quickly so you can try. Say for example, John, right? And provide access to management console. I want to create a IAM user, right? And you can give a custom password, whatever the password, right? And then you can uncheck it. Next, nothing else, just next, and create a user. Okay. So this is the user I have created, right? And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to sign out from this user, right? Sign out from this user. This is the login, right? Login URL. I will do. I'll place this. I will enter it. So I put Joan. Okay, I think. So I'm trying to confirm password because I have continued to log in. See, now I have logged in as John. Earlier, I was logged in as Regan, right? So now I don't have any access and I can assign certain services to me and I can try it out. Can you all please try this way? Is Is that okay? If you have any question, please ask me. Vidusha, you got an idea? Anyone have a
Yes.
questions? Okay. And all of you can try and let me know. I'll give you just 5-6 minutes. Is somebody want to share the screen? How to do it? Is anyone want to share the screen? Who has an account access? Taraka, do you want to share the screen? Uh, can someone raise an arm who has an access to that? I think Vidusha has an access, right? Vidusha?
Yes, I have access.
Okay, are you able to try? I mean, are you able to, if you can share the screen, I can help you if you are.
Um,
Do you want to
Wait.
share it? No worries. If you're making mistake, don't worry about it. Just a learning point, no? So just I wanted to see how you guys are doing it.
Wait, I try to share my screen.
Okay, thank you. Who has created the user? Is anyone created the user? Please raise your arm. Vidisha, are you able to share the screen? Or?
So can you give me the host, please?
Okay. Participant. Host. Participant. Okay, 1 second. I gave all participant. So let's try. Okay, good. You have created the user now. So now what you have to do, you have to log in. Go to another browser. Yeah, sign out and sign in with that Vidusha Sanit. I think Sanit, sorry, Vidusha, you should have taken that URL. If you know the account ID, you have to put an account ID here. Otherwise, it won't work.
So can you repeat it?
Yeah, because it's asking an account ID, right? Don't forget to get that URL on top of it, right? So, do you know the account ID? Once you logged in, only you know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you have to log into the B console, right?
Okay. So I will log in as root again and then get that link
Exactly,
again.
exactly.
Yeah,
When
wait,
you
verify.
create it, make sure this is very important. Make sure your password and everything is changed. I mean, saved in your local computer. Otherwise, if you don't know the password, uh, you know, need to be created again.
So shall
There you
I
go. Your
have my
email address
screen
came.
again after login?
Yeah, yeah. Please, that's fine. You can stop sharing the screen. What I would say, Vidusha, take that account ID, your right hand corner on top of it. No, on the right side. Account ID on there you go. You copy that account ID, keep it somewhere. Copy that. Click on the yeah, correct. and keep it on the notepad, and then you log out and make sure your username and password is the one you created. You know that, right? Password, right, Vidusha?
I know. I know. I know
Okay.
it.
Okay, good. Now sign out, sign in with the console because you forgot to take that URL. So anyway, that's fine. Otherwise, you don't need to put an ID. Automatically, that ID will come, account ID. It's a matter of putting your name and your password only. Uh, Put an account ID. Super. Okay. So fantastic. You have logged it. So by default, you don't have any access. That's why it says access denied, right? Now, okay. Now you understand, right? If you wanted to access S3 bucket, I understand that. I don't want, I mean, no need of logging again and everything. So if you wanted, go to your admin console and provide a S3 bucket access, and you try here and come and see whether you are able to access it. Okay. Vidusha, got it, right? And thank you, Vidusha,
Yes,
for
I
sharing
got
this. Okay, thank you, Vidusha. Really appreciate that for sharing this. Let me jump into another one since we have limited time. So next thing, let me share my screen. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm I'm going to explain about networking, right? Since networking is a very huge topic anyway, but I just explain the some basic thing, and then we can take it from further. Okay, when it comes to networking, it's there are a lot of components. So mainly, it popping up to our mind is called VPC. Right? VPC is nothing but virtual private cloud, where the whole public cloud is a huge area, right? It's a huge area. But when you create a VPC, a portion of that cloud, it's logically isolated to you only, right? A portion of the cloud is given to you in that uh, area, in that portion of the cloud. You can host a EC2 instance, you can host your any services and applications, infrastructure, and everything. It's within that VPC, right? And the VPC have a number of components, like for example, now subnets. Subnet is nothing but a smaller segment of the whole VPC. You divide it into several segments, right? In order to easily put resources and accessing those resources in an easy manner, you divide into subnets, right? And the second thing is a route table where you route that traffic to a different end end services, like internet gateway, NAT gateway, right, to outside of the VPC or inside of the VPC, right? Internet gateway is the third component where a public subnet. So there are called two subnets. One is public, one is a private. Where whenever a resource is placed in the private subnet, the resource cannot be accessed by outside world. Only authorized person can access it for the security purpose, right? When it's a public subnet where outside world can access it, because the public subnet is connected to IGW, which is called internet gateway, where the public subnet resources, the resources which are placed in public subnet can access outside world. At the same time, outside world can access that resources. For example, web server, right? Web server need to uh, provide or allow services to users to access the web pages, so they are exposed to the public world. That's why the web server should be allowed in the public subnet. But there are way we can put it on a private subnet and put a load balance in the public subnet to access it via load balancer. So there are multiple ways we can do that. The NAT gateway, when we have resources in the private subnet, in order to access that private the resources to outside world, but not the outside world cannot access this. For example, you have a system, EC2 instance, placed in a private subnet, and that instance can access outside world, get a patch update, Windows update, certain activities, but at the same instance. So one way, right? Not both way. So that is where the NAT gateway play a part, right? And security groups is nothing but similar to a firewall. It's restrict who can access, who cannot access, right? Based on the port, like allowing, certain port like 80, 443, you can access it, or 22 port, you can access it, but it deny other ports. So that is how the security group. Network ACL. This is a control list. It's specifically for, I would say, subnet level, right? Not a security instance level. So the security group works on an instance level where you can granularly control the instances. VPC peering, where you have multiple VPC, you can connect one VPC to another VPC rather than going outside world, right? See, you have two VPC and you have two resources in each VPC that need to be accessed. So rather than going outside to go to internet gateway, the VPC can interact with another VPC through VPC peering, right? So this is another way, and transit gateway too. Now let's have a demo, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually create it already. I can show you. So how we have to go to VPC. Is my screen is visible to you all? Hello, somebody?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay, superb. So I created a demo VPC. If I click on this VPC, you can see the mapping, right? Resource map, where during that VPC, right? Think, right? During this VPC creation, it created subnet, 4 subnets, right? Okay. I'm trying to, okay, here we go. So US East 1A, US East 1B, this is called availability zone. Availability zone is nothing but it's a resilient architecture, resilient. So basically what happens is when one zone is, outaged or, not accessible, the service will be available from the other source. For example, we'll take like this. Our application called ABC is hosted in Kandy and Colombo, right? For example. So if that application, if there is a power outage in Kandy, complete power outage. So now the users cannot access that application, right? But since we have hosted in Colombo, the users can access via Colombo, right? Rather than the Kandy, because Kandy is outage, right? So the similar manner, we have called US East 1A and US East 1B, where if the 1A is, not able to access, then the service will be available via 1B. And each availability zone has a public subnet and a private subnet. As you can see, I have created 2 public and 2 private, and also route table via going through the demo route public, it to go to the IGW, Internet Gateway. So this is how it works. Now I have created it already. Just wanted to show you, and I will create another one quickly for the demo purpose. And in this instance, I place a web server, and I wanted to access this, EC2 instance to see my web server is available, right? My web page is available. Excuse me. So I'm trying to start this instance. So it's initializing it, almost there. So this is a public IP address. So let's see. Okay, good. So hello world. So basically, this is a simple example. So what I have done, I created an instance. I put a EC2 instance in the public subnet, right? In the new demo VPC. So how we can see, I can show you the VPC called demo VPC, right? And subnet, I put it into the demo demo subnet public 2, right? So public subnet 2. If I put it into the private subnet, then I will not be able to access it, right? Just wanted to show you some example here. So I'm going to do some change on the security group. Remember, I told you we can limit it, or we can control that EC2 instant traffic by placing different ports, right? I mean, whether we can allow or deny. So here I have allowed 22 port, and HTTP is 80, which is allowed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one and save this rule, see whether if I'm able to access it. Let's try it. So let's keep checking it. Can you see gateway timeout? It says server error, server is unreachable. Why is that? Because I have removed this 80, port 80 from the security group. As a result, the traffic is blocked by the security group to access that instance, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow it, add a rule, port 80. Right? Now I have added it. Now let's see whether if I'm able to access this one, helloworld.com. Hello. Yes, very quick. Can you see? Now I am able to access. Just refresh it and I'm able to access. Got it? Any question so far? So this is simple, uh, you know, uh, creating a VPC, creating a subnet, creating a security group, and creating a public subnet and a private subnet, placing a EC2 instance in the public subnet. So, and also just wanted to show you quickly, you can create one by one. Since the time is limited, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another VPC, and this VPC will create automatically all the services, right? So I'm going to say create VPC, the VPC name called demo, demo now. I say demo now, right? Let's say, so you can say number of availability zone 2, you can create 3, you can create 1, you can create, 1, 2. So I'll create 2, and number of public subnet 2. Here also private subnet also 2, right? And then I'm gonna create VPC. See how fast it can be created. Okay. So now I'm going to go see within a few minutes, I would say a few seconds, the entire VPC is created. As you can see, this is called VPC demo now, right? Earlier there was a demo. So demo now. So you can see two zones, public, private, private. And it has route tables and IGW. Any questions so far? You can try with your own account, which I have explained how it is. The same manner you can try and you can play around with that, try to get more knowledge on that. I think this is from my end. I mean, as of now, this is all from my end. Any questions so far? Anyone? Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. So we will see you on next session. Thank you all. Thanks. Thank you. Bye for now.